So I've got a new class out on Skillshare, Junk Art Collage, and this ends up being one of my very favorite pieces that I did in that class, and I thought it would be fun just to do a companion piece to go with this, and then I could have like a pair to have framed. So I do have enough scraps left over, and basically what this is me cutting up pieces of art that were terrible. I mean, truly terrible, and creating something amazing when I was done. So these are just like these pieces here. They're just old experiments when I was playing in different art mediums. These are oil and coal wax on this set, but I loved the colors. I did not like the pieces of art themselves. And I cut those pages into strips so I could then put the stripes together and make something super cool. So I have some of those stripes still left over from everything that I cut up. And I thought, why not just create another piece with some of these pieces that I had left over? And I particularly liked this where it had a lot of texture on it and some lines in it. And I thought, I had a couple of those. I love this with the red and the blue and the orange kind of in there, which really makes me want to get my cold wax stuff out and just play, because now I'm not going to be so mad when stuff doesn't work out, because I know I can come back later and cut it up. So I love making collages out of some of these, and I'm just going to visually kind of look at what's the most interesting layer of colors, pattern, texture that I can get out of this collection. Ooh, look at that right there. So that might be fun at the top, actually. And I do have the other piece here. I'm kind of looking at it too, just like I've made big stripes and some little stripes. I want to vary the stripes up for this one also, but I want it to still look slightly different. So I think what I'm going to do, I have my paper cutter over here. I also have some scissors. I'm going to see size wise, I want it to be about the same size. So even though this piece is super cool, it's smaller than I actually want it. And I've got the paste that I'll be using today is my Yes paste. I love this. I'm going to be putting that on with a palette knife. I usually use a plastic palette knife, but I don't see one on my table. And then I can just wash those off when we're done. So I'm actually going to look at, say, one of these bigger stripes and kind of get my stripe size started and give that a cut. And we can either do that on a paper cutter or we can do that with some scissors. But I think in this case, because it's a wider stripe, I'll just go ahead and cut it on my paper cutter. And that's going to get me started right there. Now if it's a thinner stripe, I might just use my scissors to kind of line it up. But now I can look and see, what parts of this are interesting, what's going to give me a good contrast. I do actually like that part of this stripe here. I'm not worried about it being like completely perfect, but I do want it to be nicely lined up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want it to still look nice. And they don't have to butt up to each other. I can leave some space in there too. Oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe oh, look at this one. This one's cool. Or I could come back with some blue. That's pretty cool. All right, I do kind of like this bit of texture in here, so I think I will go ahead. We'll get some cuts going. I want that to be about the same size, so maybe I'll just use this as a lineup. I like that dark piece. That might be cool at the bottom. And then what do we want to go right there, kind of in that middle piece? Ooh, look at that. I like that right there too. I like that it's got that little stripe going. Maybe we'll pull this one down. That's not big enough. Oh, now that's a nice little stripe in there. Let's see. It's just really like a little bit of just back and forth until you kind of get that final feel. And then once you get them lined up so that it feels really good, then we can cut those. We can glue them down. And I do want the lineup to be very similar size-wise, so I've left, you know, this size border all the way around, so I'm kind of looking for that same size border with this piece. I really like this bit here too. Maybe I'll cut one of these and we can kind of place that and kind of look at it. And with this wax, it's very malleable still, so I can mark it with my fingernail. If you want, and you're doing some other kind of material, you can just mark it with a pencil. So, do I like it with a big and then little? Let's go ahead and cut this in the right size. So now I'm almost wondering, do I have too many stripes? Do I need a bigger stripe in here to break that up? Let's just think about this for a second. Or a little stripe at the bottom. Could do, ooh, a stripe breakup like that might be fun, but that's kind of big. Feeling that right there. Oh yeah, there we go. I like that. So now, once you kind of get the direction that you're going, we can just glue these pieces down. Now what I like about the Yes paste is it's so thick. It's like working with a frosting. And it's so easy to use that I can just scoop out a bunch of this and just smear it right on. You can also use like a glue stick. You could use matte medium. I just want the glue to be archival because I want these to last. I want to be able to frame them and love them for a long time. And so we'll just glue the rest of these pieces down and then call this one good to go. Now in my Skillshare class, I'll show you several different fun projects. So I will link that in my bio for you to check out my art channel because I got lots of fun stuff going on in the Skillshare channel for Art Peeps. But I thought it would be fun because I wanted to create today, but I don't have my next idea going. And I thought it would be perfect because I couldn't quit thinking about this piece. That wouldn't it be perfect if I just sat for a little bit here at my art table and made a companion piece. And then I can have a pair. Sometimes, you know, if you've got enough scrap left over and you've got a piece that you're so excited about, like I get with some of this art. Sometimes, you know, I'm still surprised. I'll look at things and I'll be like, oh man, I created that, and I get so excited. I think I'm always going to be one of those people that is perpetually excited about things I create. I do the same thing in my photography. I'll look back at pieces and I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited I made that. I can't believe I made that. It's amazing. And then sometimes I'll look at things and I'm like, how did I make that? So I'm kind of glad there's some videos out there because I can go back and be like, oh, that's how I did that. 'Cause sometimes I don't even remember how I made stuff. Just having fun in the moment, and then I'm like, what went into that? I don't even remember. So I'm just going to look at my spacing. I don't mind if I have gaps in between my stripes, but I do want the overall feel to be very similar. And what I like about this paste, the Yes paste, is I can still slightly adjust, and then I will just put something on top of that and smooth that down rather than smear my fingers across the art, just in case there's things on that that could smudge. And there we go, look at that. I love that they're different but similar because I used similar pieces of art. How cool is that? All right, hope you enjoyed just kind of watching a little bit of my process, and I'll see you next time.